Well, as ever, it's been an incredibly busy and exciting couple of weeks for Virgin Voyages and us here at VV Insider. We've been keeping on top of all the latest news across the Virgin Voyages fleet, and we have some big changes to tell you about today, including a really clever insider hack to get some free sailor loot on your next voyage. So stick around for that. I'm David from VV Insider, and in this Virgin Voyages Insider update, I'm going to tell you all about the brand new happenings events on board Brilliant Lady, a glimpse at the star-studded launch party for Brilliant Lady when she launched in Miami. We'll be looking forward to 2027 for some brand new itineraries announced for Brilliant Lady, some exclusive offers that are only available until the end of October. And of course, if you like sailing for less, we're going to highlight those sail and save offers as well. I'm going to highlight our trip to Virgin Hotels in London Shoreditch, and a comparison between the Virgin Voyages experience and the Virgin Hotels experience, some sad and disappointing news for UK Virgin Voyages fans, a look at an exclusive partnership between Virgin Voyages and Google when it comes to AI and how that will influence the Virgin Voyages experience in the future, some unexpected changes to Caribbean itineraries, a full artist lineup of the Nikki Jam voyage that is happening in December this year, and last but not least, we're going to take a look at the fantastic new headline show on board Brilliant Lady, Red Hot, with some clips recorded from the opening night. So I wasn't wrong when I told you there was a ton to cover, so let's jump right in. VV Insider is the #1 resource for the latest Virgin Voyages info, guides and news. From picking the perfect cabin to booking dining, or simply just making the most of your voyage and saving money while you do it, VVinsider.com has helped thousands of sailors around the world sail smarter. Support our work by hitting subscribe and stick around to hear how you can get exclusive perks by booking directly with us. Okay, so first up, there are some brand new happenings events on Brilliant Lady. We were lucky enough when we were on board to try some of these out ourselves, and I must say the happenings events on Brilliant Lady are really unique, and they are a step change from what you see on the other ships. Some of them are really silly, some of them are really fun, some of them are very intriguing. And we put together an article which lists off all these brand new happenings entertainment highlights. And I'll just mention a couple of these before you head over to the website and read more about them. So one that I have to mention is one of my absolute favorites. It's called Retail Rumble. And if you've ever watched Supermarket Sweep from the 1980s, you'll know the kind of silly, campy atmosphere that that show has. Well, Abby the hostess does an incredible job of making this even sillier and even campier. It's so much fun. It's so funny. It might just be because I'm British and it's very British humor, but I really loved it. I'd love to hear what you think about it if you saw it as well. So drop your thoughts in the comments. There's also another couple of game shows, and again, head over to the article to read more about them, but that's the Big Remix and Hot Seat. And then heading over to foodie events, one of the events that I enjoyed a huge amount was Secret Vintage, which is a wine tasting class, and it's hosted by the foodie, and it gives you a really good beginner introduction to wine tasting. I knew absolutely nothing about tasting wine when I head into this session, but it was really, really informative, and it's super interesting to learn about the different grape varieties. This, of course, is a paid-for event on board, but as ever, you can read all about them on VVinsider.com. Another really cool foodie event is Serial Killers, which is a murder mystery style event. It's hosted in the morning, it's based around cereal, so of course you get bowls of cereal when you enjoy. And this is a free event, no cost to participate, but it's a lot of fun. Another big change to the lineup is the introduction of Bingo Blitz After Dark. So don't worry, Bingo with the Diva and Bingo with the Happenings cast are still available on Brilliant Lady, but this is a new take on Bingo which happens late at night in the manor. It's still played the same, so the bingo tickets cost the same, but because it's hosted in the nightclub, it's got a very different atmosphere. It's very silly, very campy. Again, this is a one that got slightly mixed reviews, and we were traveling with both British people and American people, so it'd be good to know what your comments are, but I really enjoyed this one. And then one other highlight I want to mention is Suitcase of Secrets, The Fallen Flotilla. This is hosted in a very unique part of the ship that most sailors will never see. So that alone adds a little mystery and intrigue, but this happenings event is actually held like an escape room. So when you head in, you're presented with a chest which has clues and mysteries around it. And the idea is that you work through these puzzles and clues to unfold the secret of the Fallen Flotilla. And if you win, you get a very special prize at the end. It's a really interesting concept. It is a paid for activity, so do go ahead on vvinsider.com and read all the details before you commit to booking that event. Now, although I skipped through them very quickly, there are 15 brand new event pages that we've added to vvinsider.com that are all based on the new happenings events on board Brilliant Lady. So go ahead to vvinsider.com, click on events, and you can read all about them and all of the events on the other ships as well. Speaking of Brilliant Lady, there was a star-studded event to celebrate the launch of Brilliant Lady in Miami, where Sir Richard Branson himself stepped on board. He was joined by DJ Khaled, the Real Housewives of Miami, and many more. This really was a star-studded event, and it was also Richard Branson's first opportunity to get a preview of Red Hot, the brand new headline show on Brilliant Lady, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And if you're looking at getting away on Brilliant Lady in the future, the 2027 itineraries have been announced, including the Panama Canal sailing. It starts off in March with some 4-night sailings from the Bahamas and Bimini before heading on a 16-night voyage through the Panama Canal to LA. From there in May, she repositions again, this time to Vancouver in Canada. Expect to see some Alaska sailings coming up in the next itinerary drop. If you're interested in those, stay tuned to vvinsider.com and we'll let you know exactly when they hit. So this October is really important for us here at VV Insider. So we launched VV Insider 2 years ago back in July, and back then we set things up to tell sailors around the community, around Facebook, how to get the most out of their Virgin Voyages experience. And from the day we launched, we've done exactly that. And we love doing it. We love telling people all of this information about Virgin Voyages, about the ships, about the events, about the menus. And we want to continue doing that. And we never want to charge people to access this incredible content. And in order for us to keep the content free, and also for us to be able to make this our 9 to 5 and concentrate more on this really fantastic content, we rely on the likes of you viewers choosing vvinsider.com to make your next Virgin Voyages booking. It really does help. There's not a big team behind the work that we do. It's me and my husband. I do all of the coding and the programming work on the website. And of course, I'm responsible for this YouTube channel, whereas my husband is a little bit camera shy, but he does a fantastic job of managing people's bookings and inquiries, as well as writing a huge amount of the content that you read on vvinsider.com. Between the two of us, we get an incredibly humbling amount of feedback about how informative and how helpful the work that we do is to people planning their next Virgin Voyage. But what I'm going to ask today is, if you're planning to make a Virgin Voyages booking and you normally book through the website, for example, or if you're hunting for a first mate, we would love for you to show your appreciation for the work that we do by placing that booking with vvinsider.com. It doesn't cost you any more at all. There's no fees whatsoever, and you'll pay exactly what you would pay if you were to book on virginvoyages.com. So I've talked about how booking with us can support us, but what do you get in return? So if you book with us before the end of October, that's the crucial thing, before the end of October, you'll get at least $50 bar tab when you book with us. And the reason I say at least $50 bar tab is that you could actually get up to $400 sailor loot, so onboard credit to spend on anything, simply by booking with vvinsider.com. The only exclusion here is lock-it-in rate, but as long as you make a booking and it's not lock-it-in rate, you're going to get at least $50 bar tab. We've got all the details that you need to know about this particular offer on this article on vvinsider.com, so head over there. But I'm not done yet. So we set this YouTube channel up back in March, and it's had an incredible amount of traction and feedback, which I can't thank you enough for. But actually, I want to go a step further and give you an extra bit of thanks. So if you book before the end of October with VV Insider, I'm going to personally make sure you get at least $25 of sailor loot to spend on anything that you like on board. So this is a special insider hack to get some free sailor loot, because we're not going to talk about this offer anywhere else. It's not going to be on Facebook. It's not going to be on the website. It's for you that are watching this YouTube channel. So I'm going to give your booking at least $25. If it's one of the more expensive voyages, I'm going to give you up to $100. If you go to vvinsider.com/thanks, we're not going to publish that link anywhere else. It's just here. But if you do want to tell your friends and family about our YouTube channel, you can share that link if you like. What will happen is once you've made your booking, you just return to that link and fill out the claim form with your name and your booking reference, and I'll go in and make sure you get that extra loot. I'll also send you a personal thank you message as well. Just make sure you book before the end of October to get all of those exclusive perks and offers. And that moves us on very nicely to this week's sale and save offers. So if you're looking for a bargain and one of the cheapest cruises around in order to claim your offers that I just talked about, then head over to our sale and save offer this week. Our sale and save articles always tell you about the best priced itineraries on every single one of the lady ships. And there's sailings from right now up to 2027. So there's tons of options to choose from. And what's more, we have links for pricing in every currency. So regardless of where you live around the world, you can book with vvinsider.com and we'll help you do that. Moving out of the ocean and onto land for just a moment, we were given an incredible opportunity to try out Virgin hotels in London, and we've done an article and a video comparing both the on-land and the at-sea experience. So how does Virgin Voyages compare to Virgin hotels? This is a really in-depth article that talks about Virgin hotels in Shoreditch. We had an incredible stay and we were really surprised at some of the touches of Virgin hotels that really go above and beyond and make a real difference. So if you're interested in reading about Virgin hotels, head over to vvinsider.com to read the article. The comparison video is available on our YouTube channel. Some disappointing news for Virgin Voyages fans in the UK. When we look at the 2027 itineraries across the fleet, not a single ship is coming to the UK in 27. This is a real personal sadness for me because I love a Portsmouth sailing. And after Virgin celebrated the launch of all 4 ships in Portsmouth, it does feel like a little bit of a snub not having Virgin Voyages in 2027. If you're familiar with the Portsmouth itineraries, you'll know that also means no visits to Iceland in 2027 either. A real disappointment because Virgin Voyages made a splash earlier this year of making their first visit to Iceland. So could next year in 2026 be their last visit to Iceland? We'll just have to wait and see. But Virgin Voyages have told us that they are reassigning some of the itineraries to ports and destinations that the UK audience are showing signals of wanting. So you're going to see more itineraries in the Caribbean and more itineraries in the Mediterranean as well. We've seen lots of community feedback over the last few days about expressing sadness around not seeing these UK itineraries in 2027. But we'll just have to see what the future brings. In technology news, Virgin Voyages have announced a partnership with Google Cloud to bring artificial intelligence experiences into the sailor journey. Virgin Voyages, in collaboration with Google Cloud, are going to launch over 50 different AI agents into the organization in the coming years, with one of the first ones being called Email Ellie. Email Ellie is an AI agent that was developed by the Virgin Voyages creative team using Google Gemini. This announcement will come as no surprise to anyone who has been following Virgin Voyage's relationship with artificial intelligence over the past couple of years, with many of the Virgin Voyages executives expressing the fact that AI will be at the heart of the Virgin Voyages brand. Now, this topic is a very interesting one, and we do see a lot of feedback around Virgin Voyage's use of AI across our social communities and our website. So it'll be interesting to know what your take is on this embracing of AI by Virgin Voyages. Let us know in the comments what you think. Some small changes to Caribbean itineraries, with the names of some of the itineraries having a big change. So these changes seem to be modifying the names of some of these itineraries that maybe had a little bit of more creative flair in them to itinerary names that better reflect the names of the port that they're actually visiting. So a couple of examples of these name changes: Costa Mayan Coast and Honduran Waves now become Western Caribbean Cruise. Antigua Waves and Grand Turk Caves now becomes Eastern Caribbean Cruise. Virgin Voyages have said that this will make it easier for people to search for the right cruise, but we have seen some feedback from some sailors saying that this does take some of the flair and some of the creativity out of these itinerary names. So again, let us know your thoughts. If you're booked onto the Nikki Jam cruise that's coming up in December this year, the full artists lineup has finally been revealed. So this voyage is leaving Miami on the 5th of December on Valiant Lady, and this is a collaboration cruise between Nikki Jams and Virgin Voyages. Just like a celebration voyage or a red hot voyage, this is one of those voyages that is studded with musical acts. So of course we know that Nicky Jams will be providing some entertainment on board, but now we know he's going to be joined by a list of other artists like DJ Bash and Matty Gomez. We have a full list of all the artists that you can expect on this voyage, so head over to our article on vvinsider.com to learn more. Now, hotly anticipated, the brand new headline show on Brilliant Lady has finally launched. Red Hot is a headline show that is hosted in the Red Room and was due to launch when Brilliant Lady launched back in September, but the launch was delayed slightly until the Miami Mermaiden so that Virgin Voyages could make some changes. Well, we're pleased to say that Red Hot has now officially launched, and it's receiving some fantastic feedback from a lot of sailors. Red Hot is a musical exploration through the history of Virgin Records. So expect songs from the likes of the Spice Girls, Janet Jackson, David Bowie, the Sex Pistols, and the Killers, to name just a few. We have some incredible photos from that first performance for you to see on our article, but we also have a few clips from the show as well that we'd like to show you. So here's a few clips from Red Hot on Brilliant Lady. Red Hot joins Out of Time and Dual Reality in the Red Room on Brilliant Lady for the third and final headline show to launch on the brand new Ladyship. So that's all the latest news from Virgin Voyages heading into November. Now, looking towards next week, we're putting together quite an ambitious video where we have a look at what the future of Virgin Voyages might look like. So we're going to use all the information that we have so far, and we're going to add on a lot of wild speculation and rumors and have a think about what we're going to expect to see from Virgin Voyages over the next few years. Will there be new ships? Will there be new entertainment? Will there be new restaurants? We're going to take a look at what we know, but it'll be interesting to know what your thoughts are as well. So what do you think we're going to see from Virgin Voyages over the next few years? We know that there are some announcements coming up in November, and we know what we kind of expect to see from restaurants on board the ships in dry dock, but we're looking even further than that. Let's have a think, all of us together, and think about what we'd love to see on Virgin Voyages. So I'll be back next week with that video, and then the week after with another update. So do make sure that you stay subscribed to this channel so that you get all the latest Virgin Voyages information, guides, and news as quickly as we get them out. And another quick reminder, you can get that exclusive bar tab and loot offer by booking before the end of October and then heading over to vvinsider.com/thanks. Another huge thanks again for our regular viewers, and a special shout out for anyone that I saw on the Greek island Glow voyage a couple of weeks ago. It was a really lovely chill voyage around the Greek islands, just what I needed. And it was so good to meet some of you face to face as well. So I hope you made it safely back home and are busy planning and preparing for your next voyage, because I know I am. Okay, that's everything. Well, until next time, happy sailing.